The Death of Night, a living novel. Every word written by a real flesh and blood human being. She took a turn over the city for a bit, landing softly and looking around. She sighed softly, glad that no one had followed her from the manor. Occasionally, she just liked to get out and about. Politics, though, were needed nowadays, with the treaty in effect. She had little fear of the darkness of the city. It was kept this way, so all could roam freely. She watched from her perch atop one of the buildings, her eyes following some of the denizens of the city, and she wondered about their lives. She could pry and find out, but what was the fun in that? She preferred to watch and learn, the way humans ached for each other, yet could turn and argue to almost the point of bloodshed. It shocked her, but then again, much shocked her. She drops from her perch and hits the street gently, her wings folding behind her as she made her way around the city. She knew she might be in a bit of danger, all off on her own, with none of the usual claptrap. She'd had her fill of the manor for a bit. Perhaps she should venture to her grotto. But no, that would not do. No one would ever find her there. She looked around as a young man approached her for a moment. She looked into his eyes and smiled. "Greetings, milady. What brings you to town?" the young man inquired. She almost laughed as she looked at him. "Would you believe boredom of all things?" He looked at her for a moment. "Boredom in the manor this early? No, milady. I'm not sure that would be possible. The day has barely begun." She sighed softly. "True, but I have been cooped up too long, dealing with politics, and just wanted to roam around. After all, it isn't as if I am going to be attacked now, is it?" A flicker of guilt crossed the young man's face as he looked behind her. "No, milady." He turned and started to walk off. She smiled a bit. She knew it would have only been a prank for him to grab her and try to hold on when she fought. But she also knew it would have been dangerous. Pranks are all good, young man. Just don't let them hurt another person. That is when they become more than a prank. She spoke softly. "And Tobias, I hope to see you at the manor in a few months." She turned and walked off, leaving him stunned behind her as to how she knew his name. She continued to walk through the city, her small feet barely skimming the streets as she moved. She liked being among people. That was why she had been chosen for this job, though the paperwork was beyond dull, and sometimes all she wanted to do was take to the skies. She looked up into the air, wondering if that was her true reason for being out in the city. She enjoyed it far too much. Metatron had told her once that dealing with humans was almost as hard as dealing with God, but not quite. Humans varied their emotions constantly. She stopped near one of the fountains and smiled, watching the water. Perhaps she should be getting back to the manor. She had been gone since dawn, and noon had come and gone already. She knew she should be gone before true night fell. Crouched on the roof of one of the cathedrals, he looked like a gargoyle statue. His blood-red eyes follow the angel, not making a sound. If things were the way they had been before the treaty, he would have swooped down at a moment's notice to attack her. But now, they were all allies, and in this world, one needed plenty of allies. So, he just watched her, not moving, not making a sound, not needing any sleep. He could stay in the city indefinitely. He had been, waiting for his orders. His black skin was hard to see in the night sky. His huge wings stayed folded over his body, claws gripping the buttresses for balance. He watched her talk to a human, then watched as he ran away. He just continued his vigil, waiting, watching.